3, 2, 1. It's Christmas. Woo!
Da 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 da.
Hello, Cinema Peeps.
Hey, Cinema Peeps.
Wow, that was crazy, right? I'm already mixed up on my time. Yeah, as we're recording this, you've just seen our first, Talkie Tuesday of the season. We hope you like it. Kendra did a lot of amazing work on it, so let's give her a little round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was beautiful. So, I don't know about anybody else, but I will agree it's probably a little too early for Christmas films, but you know what it's not too early for? Finding Mr.
Christmas! Yeah!
So, because I haven't finished watching our episode last week. I don't believe we talked about Finding Mr. Christmas yet.
We mentioned it at the end of the episode because the last Hallmark movie on the list had to do with whoever was going to win Finding Mr. Christmas. He was starring in that film. So we did kind of give everybody a little brief introduction of the show because you have to know, like, you have to watch the show to understand it. So
exactly. And now don't you worry, because we were worried for quite a while that it was only available on Hallmark Plus, but you can watch it on the W Network. And as I just discovered a little less than 20 minutes ago, the episodes are on demand. They're just very slow to be uploaded to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had quite the confusion and panic happening for these first two episodes because they aired them on the same day, and our wonderful TV providers were so helpful in making sure that both episodes were recorded when they were supposed to, in the right intervals of time, so that we didn't miss anything.
That was foreshadowing.
If you can pick up on my
wrong,
my sarcasm,
we're wrong, just wrong, plain wrong.
Yep. They did us dirty.
Right? Like, I get it. Like, if it bleeds into the next episode, but you just, like, I don't know. I just think we've come so far in technology, it should be able to be like, oh, hey, this program slot is longer than it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's live TV for you, right?
Nothing
goes as planned.
But
I just I've set my recording so that I have it play, or I have it to extend the recording a little bit longer just to be safe.
I know, some you can do up to an hour, but then sometimes they're like, nah, and I'm like, oh, thanks. I guess
it gets a little spotty after a while, but at least we know that they're going to be on demand. So worst case scenario, knock on wood, we should be able to at least watch them somewhere.
Exactly. Oh, and if you have a I don't know if you necessarily have to have a Prime subscription, but if you get the Stack TV, you could also watch it through there.
Yes.
Because as Kendra was saying, we will talk about the hilarity of us trying to watch the episodes. Actually, let's start with that. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. So
we're gonna dive right in. So get ready, guys.
Yeah.
This is our first impressions and thoughts and excitement of Finding Mr. Christmas, the first two episodes.
Hell yeah.
Get ready.
And here's our co-host, Rudy.
Rudy!
Can you jump up?
Rudy!
Yeah, you got it. Oh, yeah. Now you have to use Apple. Yeah, see?
Yeah!
Okay, do you want to talk about Finding Mr. Christmas? Wow. That was a lot, Rudy. Really appreciate it.
A man of few words.
All right, all done. Okay.
Bye, Rudy.
Yes, Finding Mr. Christmas. What a treat. What a treat. So like we said, if you had Hallmark Plus, I believe the first episode actually came out on Halloween.
Yes.
But for us lesser folk, us poor folk, it came out November 6th. And it was a double feature. So we got to the episode 1 and 2 because I think, as we said last time, the movie that they're going to star in airs like December 22nd.
Yeah.
Because me and my friend were trying to like math it out. And we're like, the math aren't mathing. And so we even said, we were like, I think one of those has to be a double episode, maybe like the finale, but it's the beginning episode. So now you know. But really,
now we know. And honest to God, you guys, like, I didn't know how much I needed this show, honestly. like for someone who has like I've seen some reality shows in the past.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are garbage. I can say that. We can all admit that. They're garbage.
And
But
sometimes
this
that's okay. Sometimes you need a
that
little
is
garbage.
okay. Sometimes. But this is just pure wholesome like silliness and I love it. I'm here for it.
100%.
Yes.
And of course, me and Kendra were like Snapchatting each other. I think I was doing it. I saw you had Snapchatted me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till I watch the episode. So I started Snapchatting Kendra because I didn't know how many Snapchats you sent me. I think you sent me like 2, and I sent you like 8. I was like, every like 5 minutes, I was like, Kendra, what is happening here? What's going on? But yeah, so we open up on random small town USA that has no snow on it, but has, I'm assuming it's a set that Hallmark must own because that clearly looks like a house. Somewhere in the middle of
the mountains because it's like this like little kind of like chalet like cottage looking thing and there's just these cascading mountains in the background. Like it's gorgeous.
It has to be a set that they rent out. There's no way.
So
that's like Airbnb. Also the right. I was gonna say that's also like probably a positive for them is that they decked out the house on Christmas stuff, but they probably already have all this stuff ready. So like the cost effect of the show, wonderful.
Genius.
But yeah, so then you meet kind of everyone walking up to the house. I think the first person you meet is Parker. And then right away the show makes a point that he is old. Which
he is the eldest of all the guys.
Which I want to point out is just 40.
Yeah.
Okay. Which fuck, I meant to look this up. I'm so sorry. My friend was telling me how Lacey Chabert, because also she's in her 40s, looks fucking great. But I guess there's actually a Hallmark executive who's currently being sued because he made comments against her and 2 other leading actresses saying that they were too old. And,
oh my god.
Sorry, I'm bringing down the wholesomeness, but like, again, that's wild to say. Because again, 40, not that fucking old. And maybe it's because like I'm getting older and realizing, oh, those ages aren't like, sure, well, maybe when I was 16, I'm like, God, 40? Fucking dust and bones at that point, basically. But really, the reality is it's not. But that's, I think, something you learn as you grow up. And that is perfectly normal. But yeah.
Right?
Again, Parker looks great for 40. It's okay. But it's just so weird to me. The show's like, wow. And like Parker makes a point. He goes, yeah, I'm like so old. I'm like,
y'all.
Fuck people. Jesus.
Honestly, like what? And I understand, like, you know, this has been a thing, a tale as old as time for like Hollywood and filmmaking and storytelling and all that kind of stuff. But like, that's I think the whole point of what everyone's trying to do nowadays is end that stigma. Be like, you can still tell like stories of people falling in love in their 40s and their 50s, and it doesn't matter. Like I'd watch that if it's enticing enough, I'll watch it. Yeah.
Right. And then again, so I'm skipping ahead to episode 2. Where they had 2 Hallmark superfans come out. Again, not judging, but they are also in their 40s. So, like, what the fuck do you mean? You're too old. Like, clearly, like, the demo, like, they don't care. Like,
yeah.
Oh, my lord. Sorry. That I think I sent you a snap immediately because that just enraged me. I was like, what the fuck? You idiots. And then then everyone trickles in. I thought it was really funny that Blake, who looks like a country singer, didn't walk up with a guitar, but Isaac walked up with a guitar. So like I'm pretty sure they must have gave him, they're like, here, walk up with this. It's like made 0 sense. 0 sense. Sorry, table. But yeah, so then we get to meet all the guys, and then Mr. Jonathan Bennett starts kind of explaining the rules of the show, which I'm not gonna lie, I was just kind of like, whoosh, don't give a shit. Because the minute he was like,
can we just say like how excited he looked being able to do this? Like the energy was just radiating off of him. He's like, this is the best.
Well, like he's been promoting the shit out of this because he's just so pumped. So like it's great. But the second he was like Star Challenge and the Christmas, I was like, Jonathan, I love you. I do not give a shit. Just there's little challenge, big challenge. That's all I need to know. I don't care that they have fancy names. Like I really don't. I just need to know. Thank you. And like they have little stockings with their names and stuff. So like I get it, Jonathan, but like don't
you
care.
Gotta explain the rules of the game. You gotta explain the rules.
I mean, that's fair. But like I said, I just kind of glazed over. I was like, whatever. Star challenge, whatever the fuck, I don't give a shit. Big challenge, little challenge.
Get
Pretty
into
much.
it.
I was like, let's just go, people, okay? So yeah, their first, I don't know, what was the challenge? What's the little challenge called? The elf challenge? I don't remember what it's even called.
The first challenge was they had to create an
Oh,
ugly sweater
yeah.
that was just like with different things that represented them, so that like Jonathan Bennett and his co-host, her name escapes me,
Melissa,
they could get to know them, like they could know who they were.
I also love how 90% of them rip the sleeves off.
Yeah.
They're like, these are coming off right now.
Yeah.
Again, not complaining, but it was just really funny then. I think there's a couple who actually kept them on, but it was really funny. But to be fair, some of them, I think the Aussie guy wore them as socks.
I was going to say, some of them got creative with it. I think Elijah wore it as a hat.
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then they all had to do a little catwalk and walk up a little runway for Jonathan and Melissa.
Yep.
Because there's quite a few of them. I think we've talked about it, but maybe not in the podcast. I think there's like 3 of them who are like, they identify as professional models. So
yeah,
they were like, I'm ready for this. There's a couple people who come from like a theater-ish background. There is a Astro...
Yeah, I like how Elijah just casually was like, yeah, I was in Hamilton.
Oh my god.
And Jonathan's face, oh my god, his reaction was like...
the producers were salivating. They were like, we're holding on to this fucking nugget and we're dropping it episode 1. You know like how they're like, yeah, like you have to like still scripted shows, like there has to be a flow to it. Like, the second they found out, they were like... we struck gold, because literally he's like, oh yeah, I was just backup dancer,
because it like throughout the whole introduction that he did at the beginning, he didn't mention it once.
No, and
he said
again,
he could
deliberate
sing and dance.
Deliberate.
Yeah and then all of a sudden during the catwalk he's like, yeah, I was performing on stage on Broadway with Hamilton, and Jonathan's face was like, what?
Melissa's like, wow, I was gonna sell my daughter's college fund to get tickets or something. I was like, god damn. Ooh, scratch. So yeah, a couple of them have acting backgrounds. The Australian guy is a children's performer.
A children's entertainer, yep.
Hayden.
With a very heartbreaking story.
Okay, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm like so mixed. It's mixed.
It's kind of blending a little. I don't know if they're going to stretch this out through the whole series.
And
I feel bad for the guy. I really do. But I'm like, bro, like, you need to go to therapy, I think. This is not the place for you.
Again, as we talked about, like, we're trying to... I think maybe a big stigma, obviously, of Hallmark is that, happily ever afters and, like... happy marriages. So the fact that they are highlighting that, sometimes relationships don't work out, I think is really like positive. And I think that's really cool of them. But it's just a little wild to me that then it kind of weirdly diverts to the dog. So sorry to fill people in. Hayden, I think, mentions after the challenge how him and his partner ended up divorcing. And I guess they got a dog together, but she got to keep the dog.
He took the dog, yeah.
Anytime he mentions it, the dog is brought up before his partner. Again, like, I don't own a dog, but like I take care of a lot of doggies and animals, and I would be heartbroken too, but it just...
Well, who knows? Maybe he doesn't want to delve into it.
I think I'm an asshole. I'm just like, because there's like one line he says, it's like, is he gonna remember me? And I'm like, no offense, dogs, lovely. I don't think they forget at all. Like, I could be away for 2 weeks and Rudy will see me down the street crying, running up to me. Like, I don't think animals forget you. They don't. So yeah, just lines like that are a little wild to me.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe it was his first and only ever dog. It's his baby, right? And who knows? Maybe he doesn't want to delve into the details about his partner because either she doesn't want people to know, or
that's true,
just, out of respect. But it's just funny how it's just funny how they seem to be focusing a lot on him and his story. And then I'm getting ahead of myself, but there's a challenge in episode 2 that involves dogs, which was also very like, oh my god, for him. And
every dog was a Yeah, but then I forgot, and he came up to his photo, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Right? I'm
Forgot.
like, this guy is going to lose it. And then to also know on top of that, based off of reading the list and the synopsis for the movie that they'd be starring in, it does have to do with dogs. So I'm like, I hope this doesn't turn into one of those things where they're just going to string him along through the whole thing. 'Cause, I mean, I will say, again, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll dive into it more. But during the part of episode 1 where he is in the acting scenes, he is a very good actor. I thought he did very good. He made a lot of really cool choices. Very, very clever. So I'm like, he could do it, but it would be I don't know. I just feel it would kind of be like, if he went all the way and won because like of this little dog connection, you know?
I see. I think they were just, again, they obviously usually have the challenges planned ahead of time. So maybe already knowing that there's a dog challenge and they're like, oh, we're going to make this motherfucker cry. Let's fucking go. Because again, you have no idea like when they film a lot of these like post interviews. So they can slot them wherever they want. Right. So like maybe initially in the beginning, he didn't really talk a lot about it, but then obviously again, because the show knows that, hey, we're going to have a challenge with dogs. Let's slot that in. Or it's better, obviously makes narrative sense and to make you more connected to have that earlier opposed to later. But who knows? Right. Maybe that's why. But again, we're only 2 episodes in, so we'll have to see.
Yes, we will.
But sorry, everyone. Winding back to the sweaters, the ugly sweaters. Great time. Who is it? I'm really, because I know you said that you had changed your mind on some people. And I think one of mine might be Blake, which is very unfortunate. I really don't care for like the country boy, but I'm like, he's very nice. It does bother me, you know, like every time he goes, I'm not a model, I'm not an actor, but like I thought he did well in the challenge.
Yeah, I was impressed, like how he handled himself in a lot of those situations, because the way they were, and again, like I think it was him who was partnered up with Isaac, right? Was it Isaac?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And how Isaac was kind of taking the whole kind of confident, cocky, oh, I throw the script away, I know what I'm doing kind of thing. Like
he was just very stiff. He was so stiff because he was so focused on getting his lines right. So he was very slow. Yeah, very slow.
And his delivery. He came off as being a little too overconfident.
Yeah.
And so I think Blake picked up on that and just kind of decided, well, if my scene partner's not going to work with me, I'm going to just do what I can to, you know, shine in that scene. And I thought he did it in a very like graceful way and a very like funny way. Like that line that he did was like he came up with it right off the spot.
That caught off cool. That actress off guard. She was like, oh.
I know, she was like, oh.
That was with the eyes of marry me now.
Right? Boom, pregnant.
Boom, pregnant. Right? So, but yeah, it bothers me that he keeps saying that like, oh, I don't have experience with this. And I'm like, I was going to look it up, but I want to be blind. I find with reality TV, when people say that, it's not that it's not true, but like maybe he took some acting classes is all I'm saying. Like I just like, or maybe he's not like been in any, like, because I think they said a few of the guys have been in like short films and stuff, so he might just be comparing himself where he's like, oh, I'm not at that level, but maybe like he must have taken some acting classes. Because again, the same with the aerospace engineer guy who I'm not gonna lie, you don't need this. Like he's like, I want to be Hallmark man. I'm like, dude, you're a space scientist? Like, no, like you're fine. You're doing great. Like the Hallmark men should be competing for your job, you know? But like he did well too. And again, he's from Vancouver, so like I was like, okay, I'll support you. You're from Vancouver. Yeah. But yeah, like when they say like they don't, I'm like, you've taken an acting class or two. Like don't pretend, but whatever. I try not to be super cynical, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had sweater making, and then yes, we went into the first Starlight challenge. I don't remember.
Star Quality challenge.
Star Quality, there you go.
Yeah.
Where they have to act, they're told they have to act in a scene with a love interest, so they bring out the actress who I'm blanking on her name, but she's been in many Hallmark films, so.
Yes.
But then, of course, yes, as you said, there's a twist, and that they have to compete for her affection. So there'd be two of them on screen. And I
Mhm.
genuinely was like, that's a that's a great idea. And so when they were like, yeah, here are these acting challenges, I was really like, yeah, I was just really excited to see what they're going to be like put up against. So the first one being that they have to like fight against, like fight, and yet, how do I describe it? Like they have to fight for her affection, but not fight and be kind of like you said, be selfish and take over the scene, because again, acting is all about listening to each other and like
Exactly.
working together. So it makes it seem like, oh yeah, they're fighting for this girl, but it's not in a way where you're like, oh, this is too much. Like you're all trying to steal the scene. It's like in this beautiful, cohesive way. In which there are Hallmark films where you do have to, there are some that have two love interests in them. So, I thought that was a wonderful challenge to start off with. And so,
yeah.
And you get to see kind of the guys' acting chops, for starters.
Yeah, you could kind of see which ones, thought things through, and I liked being able to see which of them were like the one guy we mentioned, which ones were more focused on the lines and doing the old like dreamy eye kind of how you doing, and which ones actually kind of played a little bit more in the scene, like Hayden did, where he was like he had a bow and she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do bows, and he looked over and was like, I don't have a bow.
Oh,
I
don't have any.
I was like, that's genius. That's perfect.
The bits and Jonathan was like, that's brilliant. I was like, I'm with you, Jonathan. You're right.
Right?
Brilliant. Directors think alike.
I think hearing Melissa and Jonathan's feedback throughout, like watching them watch in like Video Village and like having them kind of whisper to each other and like make little notes about each one of their performance was also really fun as a filmmaker. Like, being that we love film so much, like it's fun to see that aspect of it too.
Like I said, they could have gone full corny. Like I said, they do have like their, again, I don't remember the little challenge, whatever it's called, where it is just kind of like, hey, just make a Christmas sweater. They really could have just cheesed out and done it all that way. But instead they're like, let's actually put something so we can show like what the actual kind of process is and what we're thinking of. So
yeah.
I really liked that. But yes, as the starting of our recording woes, episode 1 then bleeds into recording of episode 2, which confused both of us. But
yes,
we did get to see the finale of this one. And so on the chopping block, which I also gotta say, their little elimination space, beautiful.
Right?
Again, mostly just want to knock on their production value. Like they didn't skimp out, so I'm really happy. So at the bottom was Parker and Isaac. They also just randomly, I think it was David, who's the aerospace engineer guy. They randomly like picked on him and they were like, you're safe. I was like, I don't know why that was necessary, but okay, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Because like in some shows, right, they'll be like, they like point out Hayden and Dax. You guys did the best, but only you can have one winner. And so it was Hayden for that episode. Like we said, the bow, fantastic. And normally they'll like go through everybody and be like, this person's safe, that person's safe. And then like they'll come to like the last one and then to me that makes more sense to be like, David, blah, 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 but you are safe. It just felt very odd. So maybe there was more to that, but they just cut it for time. Maybe it just felt really weird. I was like, why are we singling him out? Like, we could talk to the other guys.
Like, I think it's cool that they're giving them constructive criticism and, like, feedback on their stuff. But, yeah, it seemed kind of weird. Like, and I wonder if it was also, like, from an editing standpoint, it's like, ooh, you kind of build a little bit of, like, shock and tension that way. Because when he just says David, they go, oh, no, not David. And it's like, you're safe, but this is what we need you to do to improve yourself. Like, yeah.
I just think everyone should get feedback.
Yeah, true. Yes.
But I was a little surprised Isaac went home in a way.
Oh, really?
A little bit. I think, but when it came down to him and Parker, I was like, I think Parker's gonna have to stay. Like they said, he didn't really fight for the love interest in the scene, but he wasn't stiff as hell. So I was like, man. I just thought it was funny because he had won the advantage, and so I was like,
which is true. But in my standpoint, I was kind of seeing him kind of showing his more like when they told him what his advantage was for the star quality challenge, and then like his performance and the way he was kind of treating Blake and stuff like that. again, it was only like very little they showed, but I'm like, I don't know, this guy seems like he could be a bit of a douche. And again, I would think behind the scenes, because this guy, whoever wins this show, is gonna have to be on set, and people are gonna have to deal with him, and he's gonna have to be able to get along with like the actors and the crew and everything. And so maybe they're also looking for that as well. So if they feel like, oh, this guy's gonna be difficult to work with, let's get him out of here. You know, like, sorry, Isaac, but that was what I was reading. I'm like, you know what, this guy seems like he might be a bit of a douche, and he might be difficult to work with. So I wonder if they're thinking of that too.
It could be, but I mean, his acting was the worst. So
yeah,
if you are looking for a Hallmark leading man, a little EXCs.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we went right into episode 2, where, again, I don't know what is it called, Snowflake Elf Challenge, whatever it is, the baby challenge. I forgot.
Whatever
what it was
the
called.
Small challenges, yeah.
Right, I forgot what it was called. It just went over my head. They had to wrap Christmas presents.
Yes.
And I guess I must have missed this, but Gage, I guess, was like, my mom's a professional gift wrapper. And everyone's just like, dog, he can't wrap at all. I was like,
he's like, you're going to make my mom proud.
I was like, maybe keep that to yourself. Keep a little nugget to yourself, maybe.
Right.
But it was just really funny because every cut to their POV of other people, they're like, yeah, he isn't good. I was like, damn.
He keeps boasting that his mom's a professional rapper, but he is the worst rapper of everybody.
So after they all picked on Gage, they move on to the next challenge, which is a photo shoot, which I'm not gonna lie, I think after like the acting challenge I was kind of like, that's something a little more for the acting challenge. But at the same time, like, taking photo, I just like how they're like, you know, you have to like promote the film and take photos and stuff. And I was like, have you guys seen some of your promoted stuff? Like, it's not good. But whatever. That is an aspect of it. Like, that's fine.
I mean, this whole challenge was hilarious to watch. But yeah, like me too. Like when they were showing the previews and some of them were like holding the puppy shirtless and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, but when has any of the Hallmark leading men been shirtless at all? Because I feel like that's just like one of the rules of Hallmark is to like keep it pretty like G-rated for the most part. So I'm like, why are we taking our shirts off, y'all? Like I mean, there's no movie posters where anybody's shirtless.
Not complaining. And true. I mean, the super fans were not complaining. That was also
oh my god! Someone get Vicky a medic. She's about to pass out.
I felt so bad.
So hard.
I was like, oh boy. They like these two ladies win, and they're just like, yeah, we'll take your shirt off. I was like,
yeah. And like every time, like if that decision was made for them, and they're like standing behind with Melissa, and Vicky's like. I'm like, Vicky, you need to relax.
She was having the time of her life. And then there was
a great time.
The other guest they had was Taylor, other leading man.
Tyler Hines.
Yeah. Who also starred in the Groomsmen trilogy with Jonathan Bennett. So, you know, they're best buds.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
They're best buds now. But yeah, so they had to like, I didn't quite understand, like they had 10 frames to take a picture, I guess. Which, like, I don't know. Maybe when I take pictures.
They could basically do, like, 10 different looks or 10 different poses.
Okay, that makes more sense.
They were given 10 shots to kind of, like, show them what they're made of kind of thing.
What they got. And yeah, a lot of them took their shirts off, which is, you know, whatever. But, of course, some of them were like, yeah, I have this big plan. And they're like, here's your co-star. And they bring out a little puppy. And then they'd be like, oh, never mind. I don't care. Did you know
Yeah.
And yes, Hayden had a good cry, but you know, Taylor was there to, you know, help him up, and I think his photos turned out great. And so, unfortunately for me, because episode 1 blended episode 2, we got cut off at the very end of the elimination.
Yeah.
Or they were just reviewing the photos, sorry.
They were just reviewing the photos, yeah.
My head was in a tizzy. I was like, I was looking up everything possible. I even looked, I'm like, oh, I can do stack TV. I'm like, but am I really going to do a 14-day trial to watch 5 minutes of an episode? Am I going to be that bitch? I'm like, maybe I have it in me. Because at the time, it wasn't on demand. But as Kendra informed me as we began to record this episode, she's like, yeah, they're on demand. And I'm like,
you're like, pardon you?
Pardon you? So, yes, I unfortunately have no idea who got eliminated episode 2, but I'm going to make a predicament. I'm going to make a guess. I'll try to guess bottom 2 as well, maybe.
Okay, yes,
I'll see
yes.
if I can do it.
I would like
no spoilers.
I know who got eliminated, so I would like to know what your prediction is.
Okay, so we only got to really look at Blake's photos and then Elijah, who they were like crapping on, which I thought was really funny. Because again, he won the advantage, which is he got 5 extra frames.
Yes.
So,
but it took him. They said it took him about all 10 of the first shots to get like comfortable, and they had to give him a couple of notes because he wasn't looking down the barrel of the lens. So once they kind of gave him those notes, he settled into it a little bit better. But he also chose to use a lot of props because in his mind, he was going for I'm a really fun, exciting person, and I would like to show that in what I'm wearing. But in doing so, it kind of like skews his face and you can't really see him very well.
Right. So based on that, I'm pretty sure he's at the bottom for sure. Gosh, who else would be at the bottom? I'm trying to think. God, who else sucked? They really liked Blake's.
Yeah, Blake's was really well done. Personally, I liked Blake's and Daxton's. I thought Daxton really had a nice, like, how his turned out.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to guess Blake won. Don't tell me, though, because I'll watch later tonight. I'm assuming he won the challenge just because, again, just based on that. I'm trying to remember everyone else's. I think Parker did okay, too. So I think he's probably safe. Who else did? I think Elijah's definitely at the bottom. I'm trying to remember everybody else's though, because I'm not gonna lie. Gage and Ezra. Every time they click to their POVs, I'm like, that's the same person. Like, I'm like, I can't be bothered. You guys are both the same people. Yeah. I can't. I really thought I could make this prediction, but I actually can't. I can't think of everyone else's who did really poorly, but. I think it'd be really funny if Elijah went home because he again won the advantage and then gets booted. But yeah, I think for time's sake, I'm gonna say Elijah got booted, but we will see when I watch.
You'll
later
have to
tonight.
wait and find out.
You'll find out next week, people. I promise. But but yeah, that is the 2 episodes of Finding Mr. Christmas. Like Kendra said, like what a fun treat. It's going to be my new highlight for like the next
month.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
It's going to be like in between like watching Hallmark films. Like it's going to be great.
Right? I know. It's something to look forward to in the middle of the week, which is awesome. And yeah, it's just like we were saying earlier. It's not, again, we'll see as the episodes go, but I would like to hope because it's Hallmark that they're going to err on the side of not being too dramatic with everything as far as reality shows go. And I think like I'm sure there might be some butting heads and some like, you know, of the guys, but I don't know how much drama they can actually muster up.
I think Daxton's going to cause all the drama and I'm here for it. I think during his sweater challenge, he was like, "Oh yeah, I am part of the gay community."
Yes.
And I was like, I think I sent Kendra 7 like, "You called it, Kendra. You were right." But I really like him. I think he's really funny.
He seems really sweet, and I love what Jonathan Bennett said to him when he announced that to everybody. And I thought that was such a sweet moment, considering. Yeah. And he even told Jonathan Bennett, he's like you're my idol for this. Like you're kind of like, you know, paving the way, and that's really awesome. And he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell you, like, don't be sorry, don't apologize for being you. You be you, and just love that. And yeah, it was a very sweet moment between the two of them. And I was like, oh yes, even if Daxton doesn't get this role, I hope they like maybe consider him for something in the future, because I think
that's also a big thing to consider, right? Pivoting. There was a show I watched called The Glee Project. I think it was also just a way for them to like get more people. But if I remember correctly, the season 1 winner. Gosh, I'm blanking on who it was. Like they kind of stuck around for a couple episodes, but I think other people from the project also got a couple episodes of the show. Because I think they realized, they were like, oh, all these people are good. Like they're good enough to be on our show. So like, why not? You know?
Yeah.
I think they made it I think it was in the second season, they were like, okay, we're not going to do that. But I think they still broke their own rule and still had other people. I mean, it was like maybe for 1 or 2 guest star episodes, but like, yeah, why not? Like the top 3 guys, like,
yeah.
And they're always going to be considered, right? Unless they do
Right?
something really bad behind the scenes, like you said. And then it's like, nah, we don't want to work with you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, it warms my little heart.
Excited. So, okay. So my question to you is, out of all the, so keeping in mind the plot of the movie.
Yes.
And the actress who will be playing alongside our Finding Mr. Christmas winner.
Yes.
Which of the guys do you think, or could you see in that role so far?
Okay. Mentally out of it. Obviously we talked about Hayden earlier for obvious choices.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see him bring emotion to the part. I don't know. I thinking of like the leading lady. I think Parker, could fit in really nicely.
Yeah, I could see that. Yep.
And again, like I said, Blake's rubbing off on me, not literally. But again, he's going with a very cowboy aesthetic. Not saying that wouldn't work for the movie, but like I think there might be just something better suited for him.
Yes.
I think same with Daxton. Like I think he's great, but I think there's something better for him.
Right?
So like you said, if there's like opportunities that they can give, I'm thinking Parker. Yeah. Lock in my answer for Parker.
Parker? All right, cool.
Again, I think the other guys would be perfectly fine, but just thinking about it, yes. Who would you choose?
I was tossing between Hayden again for the dog story and just like kind of like when you pair up a couple kind of to see who looks like they fit together, and like he and her kind of look like they could match well together. Or Jonathan, I think I could see definitely too. And Blake is starting to rub off on me a little bit, but I agree with you. I think his talents could be better suited for a different role. But as a person, I think he's really cool, and I think, considering he's claims to not have a whole lot of experience like with acting and stuff, I was very impressed by him. And then I agree with you with Parker too. I feel like I could definitely see Parker.
I mean, they also really like pairing people with like light and dark hair. So like
yes.
I see Hayden being a good choice because again, or Hayden or Daxton because they have lighter hair than the actress. I think based on the picture she has dark hair, but she could always dye it, you never know. They could dye their hair too. Lazy gits. But so basically on top of us doing Hallmark reviews, we'll try to do a little brief summary of Finding Mr. Christmas every week because I just think that would be a lot of fun.
Yes. Also, as a side note too, I noticed when I was editing the previous podcast, I was looking at pictures so I could use as like for little like posters that I was popping up on screen, and they did show like a scene from the Happy Holidays that this movie would be from that they're doing, and it was her and I'm assuming like her best friend or like another co-star that is in the scene with her and the dog. And it got me thinking, I'm like, have they shot like all the scenes without him already and all they have to do is just shoot all the scenes with him now?
True. Again, it's hard to know because we don't know when they shot this.
Right.
Because my thought process was they probably shot this fairly early.
Yes.
So then whoever they picked, they basically were like, all right, you have to start next week because we're on a production crunch. And then maybe they only just wrapped like maybe last month or something.
Yes.
Just because this is the last Hallmark film coming out. Like my assumption would be because it's the one like slowest in production or post because of the reason they haven't found their co-star.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
that makes sense.
You never know. They could, like, I could see them still shooting stuff without the main lead because obviously there's like you said, there's other scenes, but maybe they did that like still around the same time frame where they're trying to find Mr. Christmas, but maybe they just shot like the week or 2 weeks before they picked the final winner. And then once he was picked, they were like, okay, gotta hit the boots ground running, baby. That show is. I'm also just curious for the future. Like, obviously, they'll get this part. It's guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
But as we kind of already hinted at, like, maybe the other guys, depending how far they get and maybe how likable they are on the show, maybe they'll get. Like, maybe they'll next year we might see them cropping up. And again,
yeah,
I'd be
they'll get their own
curious to
opportunities.
see, right? But I'm also curious, like, how far the winner is going to go as well.
Yes.
Because one Hallmark film does not always equal, oh, you're always going to come back.
Exactly. Again, it all has to do with chemistry on like in the story and like how the whole like movie does well. So yes.
But I mean, kudos Hallmark. You're very intelligent for doing this. And yes, applause for our boy Jonathan Bennett. And yeah, I know we've only just started this journey, but I'm excited. And I'm already hoping they do a season 2.
Yes.
Fingies
I'm
crossed
sure they
for
will.
Everyone. But yeah, I think that'll do it for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed Little Taste of Finding Mr. Christmas. Like I pre-warned, we will be talking about it every week, so get over it. But we will spice in, because I mean, as of recording this episode, tomorrow, Hot and Frosty comes out on Netflix.
My Lord. Yep.
Later this month, The Merry Gentleman, which I finally saw an actual trailer, and it literally is full Monty, but Christmas themed.
Oh my God.
So like, we have so much more to come, and we hope you enjoy this journey with us as we close. So
sometimes, you know what, guys? Like sometimes you just need a little bit of cringe, a little bit of corniness, a little bit of fun, and a lot of Christmas cheer. So come on, like
fucking exactly.
Come on.
But yes, thank you for watching today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. And let us know in the comments down below who you think should win Finding Mr. Christmas. Like we said, only 2 episodes are out, and so only 2 people have been eliminated so far, but what are we thinking? Who are you on? Whose team are you on? Team Hayden, Team Parker, Team Daxton, Team Jonathan? Let us know down below. And consider leaving this video a little likesy, because it is the start of our Hallmark journey, so there's more to come. And consider subscribing to watch us on that amazing journey. But anyways, guys, that'll do it. Watch all the content, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Monkey.
Monkey.